Hello friends, this is Arnab here and welcome to my YouTube channel Transform Tube, and this is Unit 2 of ANC1 IGNOU, and we are studying about the macronutrients, carbohydrates and water. Carbohydrates, two types: available carbohydrates, non-available carbohydrates, and water. What are the objectives of this unit? The process of digestion and absorption of food, concept of utilization of food in simple terms, distinguish between available and non-available carbohydrates, chemical nature of carbohydrates and water, the food sources of carbohydrates and water, role of carbohydrates and water in body, and process of digestion, absorption and utilization of carbohydrates in the body. So this is the general structure of our absorption system. It starts with the mouth, salivary glands, we have liver, we have the stomach, the pancreas, small intestine, large intestine and the anus. Okay. Okay. So overall process of digestion, this is a very important question. It starts from the mouth, it begins in the mouth and it goes into the stomach. Okay, mouth, the salivary glands are there. Okay, while the food is still in the mouth, it is acted upon by enzymes, amylase, which acts only on cooked carbohydrates and partially digests them, they break them into smaller units. Stomach, the food goes into the stomach next, and besides enzymes and water, gastric juices also contain small amount of acid, hydrochloric acid. Okay. Mixing of the food with gastric juices converts the food into thin soup-like consistency. Okay, gastric juice contains an enzyme which acts on protein and brings about partial digestion. Other nutrients in food remain chemically unchanged. Small intestine. The next stop is the small intestine. Here, let's see how it is. It helps in digestion of food. The partially digested mass of food passed from the stomach into the small intestine not only contains intestinal juices secreted but secretions from the liver and pancreas. Liver is called bile and pancreas is known as pancreatic juice. Okay, and bile aids in the digestion and absorption of fats, and both pancreatic and intestinal juice contains enzymes which break down fats, proteins and carbohydrates into simpler substances. The simple substances ultimately reach the bloodstream. Large intestine. The food which is not absorbed in the small intestine along with large amount of water passes into large intestine. Most of the excess water reabsorbed and remaining water and solid material is eliminated from the body through the large intestine. Absorption of food. Where is food absorbed? Realized now, absorption takes place in the small intestine. End product, bloodstream. Process of movement of digested food of nutrients across intestinal wall to bloodstream is termed absorption of food. Okay. Now, the wall of the small intestine is made up of numerous folds or finger-like projections known as villi. The presence of villi tremendously increases the total area from which absorption can take place. Most of the nutrients are absorbed from the upper part of the small intestine, though some are absorbed from the lower portion. So here we can see a picture. Okay, food reduced in size, eating starchy foods, partially digested, mouth, it contains saliva, and then gastric juices, it goes to the stomach. Food mixed with gastric juice, protein partially broken down by pepsin, pancreatic juice, bile, intestinal juices, small intestine. Breakdown of starch into glucose and protein into amino acids, completed fat converted into smaller units. Nutrients are absorbed in the small intestine. Undigested food, mainly cellulose, and are excreted large intestine, and water is absorbed. So this is basically the process of digestion of food. Now let's go into carbohydrates. The carbohydrate refers to large family of organic compounds essentially made up of three elements: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Available carbohydrates from the food sources. Food sources provide good amount of carbohydrates. Cereals, millets, roots and tubers, fruits, sweetener, cane sugar, jaggery, honey. Okay. So what are these types? The table sugar consists of glucose and fructose. Okay, unit of glucose and fructose. Starch is like this, it is composed of glucose in this format. Okay, units of glucose, straight or branch end. Cellulose or fiber, glucose, it is made up of glucose units. Type of linkage is different from starch. Okay, this is a different type of linkage. So this is cellulose or fiber, this is starch, glucose, and this is table sugar. Okay, functions. What are the functions of this? Important functions of carbohydrate: energy giving. Most important function of carbohydrate is energy giving. The chief function of carbohydrate furnish energy for the working of the body. Okay, now carbohydrate foods are widely distributed in nature, cheapest source of energy. 60-70% of total calorie of our diet. Okay, protein sparing action. Proteins can be broken down into body to meet energy need. It is not their chief function. The function of protein we will learn later. Insufficient amount of carbohydrate in the diet will force the body to break down proteins for releasing energy instead of using them for body's growth and development. This is very important point. Many people say that no carb diet. This is a very important point. An insufficient amount of carbohydrates in the diet will force the body to break down proteins for releasing energy instead of using them for the body's growth and development. Okay, carbohydrates, if taken in insufficient amounts to meet the energy needs of the body, spare proteins for the important basic role of the body, that is supporting growth and bodybuilding. Okay, this is why carbohydrates are so important in bodybuilding. Okay, utilization of fat. This particular act of sparing proteins for other functions is termed as protein sparing action of carbohydrates. Okay, this is very important. Utilization of fats. Okay, some amount of carbohydrates is needed for the proper utilization of fat in the body. Presence of carbohydrate in the diet prevents the body from breaking down too much fat for energy. In case of deficiency of carbohydrate in the diet, more fat will be broken down to meet the energy requirement of the body. This is very harmful. The reason is that the excessive fat breakdown can result in accumulation of byproduct of fat metabolism. This accumulation causes a problem and can affect health. Okay. Non-available carbohydrates. What are the non-available carbohydrates? So fiber. Fiber is nothing but non-available carbohydrates. Okay. This is non-available carbohydrates which are there. The functions of fibers. It is satiety value. The fiber cannot be broken down chemically in the body. Digestive tract components of fiber absorb water. They swell up, make food residue bulky, which gives feeling or fullness of satisfaction. Elimination. Fiber helps elimination of unabsorbed food in the form of stool or feces from the body. Prevention of diseases like cancer, diabetes and heart disease. That is why fiber is so important. Food sources. Fiber is present. Which food sources are there of fiber? Outer covering of cereals and pulses. Wheat grain, whole wheat flour, whole pulses like husk, black gram, rajma, lobia contain fiber. Whole cereal and refined cereal. All grains have common structure. We will see whole cereal and refined cereal. We can go through this. Okay. Next we have water. Water is essential for life. But you can survive without food but not without water. Okay, is a macronutrient made of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen. And what are the functions? You notice as referred to as food. This is because water is the form which contains other nutrients like sodium and potassium, which belong to the mineral category. That is why water has earlier been referred to as food. Okay. What are the functions? Water is a major component of our body. It approximates up 60% of the total weight of an adult and 75% in case of infant. Medium of all body fluids including blood, saliva, digestive juices, urine, feces, sweat or perspiration. Water plays an important role in regulation of body temperature under normal circumstances. Water is universal solvent, dissolves a variety of substances including product of digestion. Water bathes the body cells, keep them moist. It acts as lubricant. Sources of water. The ingestion of water, body gets water from ingestion of water. ingestion of water from the solid foods and liquid food. Okay. And third is water formed in the body from the metabolism of nutrients. Some amount of water is from the body due to various chemical reactions involved in the metabolism of carbohydrates. Just we have seen earlier. Okay. So this completes unit 2. Thank you so much. Please do like, subscribe and comment on my channel, and do contact me on 700-387-9029 for further details on the IGNOU course ANC1. Thank you so much.